Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Imperial Diecast. And today, I'm going to be showing you a 124 scale model car distributed by a company called Hachette Collections, which, like De Agostini, does this as part of a subscription-based magazine series, with this particular one centered around famous Opel cars. But the individual models can also be found online, and that is how I managed to get this Opel Speedster from CK Model Cars for around €20, but without the accompanying magazine. The one downside of the series is that the boxes the cars are released in are kinda useless when you unbox the model because you basically rip the back and inside is just the car and its base, while companies like Burago, Maisto, Welly, and Motormax actually design boxes that you can store the model in. Either way, let's open it. Now, unfortunately, the car is mounted onto the box with these triangle head screws, so you're going to need a special triangle head screwdriver to be able to unscrew the car from its base. You can watch one of my videos where I actually show you how to do that, and I will link to that at the end of this one. But yeah, let's get this unscrewed. Now, this color is called Calypso Red, and I think the Opel Speedster looks pretty good in it, although it may also look even better in silver. Now, this is a mid-engined, twin-seat sports car Opel made from 2000 to 2005, and they made over 7,000 of these. It's actually a German-British-American collab, because the cars were built in Lotus's plant in the town of Hethel in the United Kingdom, and sold in the UK as Vauxhalls, while General Motors funded the production because Opel was owned by GM at the time, and until 2017, I think. Now, one of the reasons I bought this car is that even though nothing opens on it, which I really hate, especially in 124 scale, it actually has a lot of detail for this scale, as I will show you in a second. And the fact that it is a convertible kind of makes the interior more accessible, even though it is completely sealed. But if you really can't stand sealed models, then Welly has made a fully opening Opel Speedster in 118 and in the budget range, but it's kind of hard to find these days because it's an old model, compared to this new release here. So let's take a closer look at this one. So taking a look at the front of the 124 scale Opel Speedster by Hachette, I think you can see that they put a lot of detail into making the front look as real as possible. I mean, the Opel Speedster may not be to everyone's taste, but to those who like it, you can definitely see that this is a happy-looking car. I mean, the headlights and the front grille are designed like a face, I think. And if we take a closer look at the headlights, you can see that Hachette has done a really nice job here because there are no pegs. We have the two individual bulbs in chrome, and then there's also an orange reflector at the corner. The front grille has the Opel logo in 3D, and underneath it says Opel Speedster on the front license plate. We also get two fog lamps. And now moving on further up, you can see that here on the front trunk, I guess, because this is not really where the engine is, but it does have like two big air intakes, or like air vents for the brake cooling, I think. And there's also texture on the grille there, so that looks really nice. We've got a mono wiper here with some nice details on the windshield wiper. If I can get this to focus a little, there you go. And the windshield has a matte silver trim around it. The mirrors also look okay. The car also has some nice dashboard detail in the form of these four air vents, I think. And taking a look at the side of the car, you can see that it's got the typical sports car profile, which actually looks pretty nice. We've got the side vents in front of the rear wheels. Got some detail for the door handle, and then there's like a door lock as well. Little silver for the indicator. And now if we take a look at the wheels, you can see that Hachette has done a great job with these rims because we've got the Opel logo and the 5 lug nuts surrounding it, 5 spoke wheels of course, and each spoke has also like 2 more bolts indicated in it. And then behind the wheel we have a silver brake disc and a black brake caliper, although the disc does not move through the caliper, but still a nice level of detail for 124. Unfortunately, you cannot swivel the front wheels, and they're also both on the same axis, because right now, look, I'm turning the wheel by putting my finger on the other one. So that's also like a little downside. But I mean, I think it still looks good. And here's a look at the rear wheel. So yeah. And taking a look at the back of the 124 scale Opel Speedster by Hachette, you can see that the back also looks very nice. I especially like the attention to detail they gave to the taillights. Again, there's no pegs, and we have 4 different bulbs in them this time, with the central one in silver, and interestingly, the top left and the bottom right one in this diagonal are painted in red on the left side, but on the right side, my bottom left is also painted in silver, but the top right is painted in red. So I don't know if that's just a flaw on my model or whether it's like that on the back of every single Opel Speedster. Then we have 2 more bulbs on either lower left and lower right edge. A slightly raised Opel logo in the middle, just a Speedster to the right of it. And again, Opel Speedster on the rear license plate. And interestingly, a dual exhaust, but that's like stacked one atop the other, which is quite rare among cars. Now, as we move on further up, we get to the engine section of this car. I guess in terms of looks, it is definitely a sports car, but the engine only makes 145 horsepower from an inline-4 with 2.2 liters of displacement. But on the other hand, this car only weighs 875 kilograms, allowing it to accelerate from 0 to 100 kph in 5.9 seconds and reach a top speed of 217 kph, which is good for a sports car. Now, even though you can't open the engine bay cover, you can see that Hachette put a lot of detail for the interior of the engine, which you can see through this grille here. I mean, we've got like a canister and some detail of the engine block that is visible through the mesh. So that's nice. And over here we also have a small black plastic antenna, the third brake light underneath, and the rear windshield. And now let's check out the interior of the Opel Speedster. And you can see that the interior has a nice amount of detail. For instance, we've got a cassette player right there in the middle with the 2 knobs on either side and some buttons underneath. And then to the left of it are the 3 climate control knobs. We've got the shift stick there in the middle for the 5-speed manual transmission and the handbrake that is raised. And then we have like this nice design there for the footrest, which is also like that on the real Opel Speedster replicated here. Now, if we take a look at the seats, they are also done pretty nicely. They've got a little bit of side bolstering, and the texture is also different for the seat backs. So, yeah. We also got some detail there for the door cards, like the door handle and a little bit of silver as well. And taking a look at the driver's side of the Opel Speedster, you can see that the steering wheel has a nice level of detail to it. We've got the Opel logo in the center, surrounded by silver for the 3 spokes. And behind the steering wheel, you can see the instrument cluster right there, the speedometer and rev meter, which is just a sticker, but I think it's readable. Then we have the turn signal stalks and the floor pedals right there underneath the steering wheel. So lots of brushed aluminum here, just great amount of detail. Window crank right there on the door card. So yeah, that's what I was talking about when I said that I really like the level of detail of this car, despite the fact that it is sealed. And now taking a look at the bottom of the car, you can see that the bottom is pretty flat. There's not much detail here. It says 124 Opel Speedster, got some riveting, and that's about it. Also some tread on the tire, but yeah. Nice little model. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the 124 scale Opel Speedster by Hachette Collection. I wish that at least the doors open on this model, but to make up for that, I really like the level of detail that they put in here, and the price is also low, so I'm happy to have it in my collection. I've also reviewed another Opel in my collection, which is the Opel Senator A, which is a sedan. So if you want to check that out, you can do so here. And as always, guys, take care, have a wonderful day. This is Imperial Diecast, signing out.